processes and community engagements in this region. We continue encouraging the citizens of this country to take up measures that will resolve land issues amicably without resorting to violence. Because past have lives, persons have been injured, including security officers and civilians, and it is important for us to resolve their land issues. Our team are well trained to help communities, bring them together through barazas and through community mediations and arbitration to ensure that problems are being resolved in amicably. I'm glad that some of the land challenges that we had even inside the conservancies have now been resolved because communities sat down with the help of religious leaders, community leadership, Ngao team, security team, investors who are here, and they have been able to resolve these issues amicably. Number two is that we have a problem here of cattle theft or livestock theft generally, and it is mutating to almost be like cattle rustling. It will be unheard of to continue speaking about cattle rustling in such a part of the country where the environment has so many investments. It's not even as complicated and challenging the way we face in other parts of Rift Valley like Samburu, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot, Turkana. Yet, some parts of this county are facing serious challenges of cattle theft or livestock theft that also involves proliferation of small arms. Guns are being used in this county, and the security team have been tracking persons who have been procuring ammunitions and guns from as far as parts of West Pokot County all the way to a border with Uganda and bringing them to this county, and then from Tanzania to bring also to this country and fueling conflict between communities. And I must say that I'm glad that the security team are on this issue. I have given them another 1 month to make sure that they arrest all these people, and I'm extending an olive branch to all people who are holding illegal firearms to surrender to the National Police Service immediately and in a very amicable and peaceful manner. Take it to the next police station or next OCS, next security person before we come for it, because I have said that when we come for a firearm, when the security team comes for a firearm, it may be very painful and might be too late. It is important for you to surrender voluntarily the firearms that are in illegal hands, and the security team working in a multi-agency are going to do quick operations within the next 1 month to make sure that all the guns that are in the wrong hands are returned. We are very concerned that the combination of cattle theft or livestock theft and land conflict compiled with political and community incitements is going to continue being a very big challenge moving to especially when you are close to elections, and when politicians feel threatened politically, they quickly resort to the easiest thing. And usually the easiest thing is to incite the public to try to show this community is better than the other, or that to propagate a fight between communities. And this is something we are following up. I want to encourage all the leaders and all those who are aspiring to leadership to refrain from anything that is going to incite the public. The third issue that we are monitoring closely is the question of alcohol and substance abuse, and particularly proliferation of adulterated ethanol and other kind of alcohol that is combined together with smuggled goods from neighboring country. We border Tanzania here, and there is a lot of smuggling of goods here, but also some of the alcohol that is consumed in Narok come from Nakuru County. Some of them come all the way from Kisumu County, Kisii County, and all those places, which we are yet to visit, and we will see the measures that we are going to deal with, because some of these factories that are manufacturing this adulterated alcohol and spirits are actually in the neighboring counties, and some of which are coming from out of the country. There is also proliferation of drugs here, some cannabis sativa, and even hard drugs like cocaine are sometimes found, though in small traces, in some parts of this county. Again, we have said that we will have a multi-agency operation that will involve everybody, including our reservists in the National Game Reserve. The National Police Reservists who are working there as rangers must work together in close collaboration with the other police officers in a multi-agency manner to make sure that our park is clean and that no criminal activity will be entertained in around these areas. The other issue that I want to quickly speak about is the issue of gender-based violence, including female genital mutilation, which is part of gender-based violence, and also the gender-based violence where spouses, couples, people are fighting is something that is also we are dealing with, especially the FGM. There are still community leaders, elders who are still encouraging and perpetrating acts of FGM, and we have told the police officers, the security team in the county to up their game to make sure that our girls and women are being protected from violence. And we are going to take this gender-based violence issue must be confronted for what it is, and part of it is covered by community cultural activities that encourage beating of spouses, especially women. And in some cases we have seen where men are also being beaten by their wives, but it is more prevalent against women, and it's an issue that we must deal with and confront as a country. We must speak about it. We must deal with the stigma that comes with it, and also people who are ostracized in the society for coming out to speak about FGM, gender-based violence, and this is issues that we must deal with. The other issue is mining. Mining is a very important resource in some parts of Transmara. This is also on the border to Narok, Migori. It's also an area that there is unregulated mining that has been going on. I'm glad that the Ministry of Mining have been doing some operation clearing people who have no legitimate licenses, and we are going to continue working together with the Ministry of Mining to make sure that this sector is streamlined so that the investors can do their job in an environment that is beneficial to the community, and then we weed out the rogue community leaders who are giving out fake licenses and instigating into clan fights or community fights related to mining issues. Those are some of the issues. We are happy to go and listen to the wananchi, and together we find ways of resolving those issues. Thank you. Excuse me. I'll take about 3 questions, yeah, and then we'll see where we go there from there. Proceed. Okay, thank you. Well, on the IDs issue, we are working on that. You will go and see shortly our mobile live capture machines that are going to help us to reach out to as many of our residents here as possible. We have a critical number of population that is not registered and they are of adult age, and this potential must be harnessed. As a ministry, we are procuring some vehicles so that we do mobile registration, especially for pastoralists. We want to make sure that we reach them in their manyatas and other parts where they are unable to access. Of course, in town here we have registration centers in a few areas. I think it's how many? 19, yeah? We have 19 registration centers for ID. That is huge. But still, because of the coverage, there are places that we will need mobile registration. And that's why we are showcasing our live capture machines as one way of ensuring that we will reach out. And you know that live capture machine has only, it just needs 3 people. And once the chief is there, the fingerprints officer there, and the registrar, things are done, finished, and all the information is uploaded, and you are able to print an ID within 3 days, and within 7 days, a resident will have gotten their IDs. These are some of the reforms that have happened. You know, now it is free because the president declared that we give out IDs for free. It used to be 300 shillings, it's now free, and as we take it close to the people, more of them will be encouraged to take it. Remember, the president also removed the unnecessary vetting procedures, which was affecting this county because it's a border county. Now more people can easily get their IDs like any other part of the country without being discriminated upon. And so that is an area that we are very keen on. The area that we are yet to get it right is the births and deaths area. We still have smaller coverage, and we are looking for budget to hire more staff so that we can also cover as many places as possible the way the ID registration has been able to do so. Thank you.
My name is from citizenTV. The former EP said that he denied actually those allegations of inciting Kenyans. Perhaps, what is your take?
In terms of inciting in relation to?
Relationship to inciting Kenyans, not as Al-Shabaab and terrorism. Maybe what is your emphasis
on that issue? Let me say this, that it behooves every citizen of this republic to carry out themselves in a manner that is patriotic and in a way that they can be considered responsible to their Chapter 10 provisions of national values and principles of governance. It is very unfortunate that a person who is seeking public office and who has held very high office is propagating lies and campaigning against our own country, speaking ill of our nation, trying to portray Kenya as a pariah state where our security officers are irresponsible, because he's trying to call into question our security officers, both and security team, all our armed forces, because they are working in multi-agency way in the border counties. For somebody to try to demean the work that our security forces are doing, and having held a very high office just less than a year ago, is extremely unfortunate, particularly when we know that every other day our men and women are making great sacrifice from Boni Forest to all the way to Mandera, all the way to Lake Turkana, and all the way to Kwanza here, where we have porous borders, that we have different challenges, but particularly in Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Lamu, and Tana River, where a lot of challenges have been there for many years. And especially when you know that we are bordering a country that is struggling with its own internal problems in Somalia and continue to put pressure in our own country. I would have expected a certain level of responsibility on the part of the former deputy president, notwithstanding his status as an impeached former deputy president. I still thought that as a citizen of this country, even when he's outside office, he will realize that there are certain boundaries that you cannot do politics with when it comes to our country. Now, since he has information, you can see liars, this pathological liar, you can see through his lies. 1 minute he is saying that he has information that is relevant to dealing with Al-Shabaab and people who are doing business and collaborating with the enemy. In the other minute, when he's told to put that information in a proper record, he starts running away that he's not going to record that information. That means that's just lies and sound bites for social media and for purpose of inciting the public and disparaging the nation. If he is a man enough and he is a person of integrity, he should put his allegations in writing, together with the evidence that he has, the people who are in the meeting that he is alleging that the meeting, the businesses that those people bring, the collaborators. Since he seems to have a lot of information, it is laughable that a citizen of the Republic of Kenya who is seeking high office is telling the citizens of this country would rather appear before a senate of another country than his own country. We are not stupid people. We are looking through. You can see through his hypocrisy. But we will insist, we are continuing to insist that any citizen of this republic who makes such heavy allegations and who thinks that they are doing so for the good of the country, they are obligated to put that in writing. And and when I say that they should record a statement, it doesn't mean that the National Police Service is not independent. I am just restating what is in the law, that if you have evidence that is related to safety and security of Kenyans, the right place to put it is to take it to the DCI and provide that information so that the people you are mentioning can be investigated and be arrested and be charged. But until you put that information in writing, the rest is just pure propaganda and falsehood that must be treated with the contempt that it deserves. So I challenge the former deputy president to to make his allegations now properly on record if he really thinks that he has information that can help this country. But until then, we will treat it as the usual propaganda and the amazing level of contradictions that is now known for him. You just need to pick some few clips from his archives last year, and you will see the total opposite. What he was telling the security. I was with him in Garissa when he was praising our security forces just less than a year ago. And now, because he's out of office, he thinks that he should disparage our security forces. There were two DIGs who were in Mandera and Garissa, and Mandera and Wajir. They just came back yesterday. I'm glad that they went to motivate our police officers who are there. I am really sympathize with our police officers who have got injured fighting the enemy at the border of our country, and I like to tell them that they have our full support, notwithstanding these propagandists who are trying to demean the work they have been doing, and will stand firm as the Republic of Kenya. If, and I insist, if the former deputy president has any information that is worth consideration, not just by local, even international institutions. If he has that information, he must record it with the DCI as soon as he arrives the country so that we can take him seriously. Until then, we will just consider it a part of his continuous comedy and caricature that he has become in everything he says out there. You know, a person who poses for a photo, for every step he passes through the airport, he's looking for the airport police to take a picture with. And that is a big thing. He's going to show us that, he met airport police officers when he went to the US. That is a joke. It's a total joke. Or somebody who goes to amusement park in a technology company, then starts saying, I had an engagement in an amusement park as a tourist. How many of us have gone to amusement parks as tourists when we travel out there? And then you start saying, this is what, and so forth. The only thing you can go and write when you get a small opportunity to visit Facebook as a tourist is political slogans. I mean, we have a problem. And I think if the former deputy president is not going to record a statement about what he said about Al-Shabaab and the country, then the right thing for him is we check him in a mental institution for mental assessment, because his level of contradictions can only be that he either is a pathological liar or is a mental case that needs treatment. And you know, Constitution of Kenya insists that for people to hold public office, they must be of sound mind, which is at the moment extremely questionable. And I guess that it comes with the stress of losing such a high office. And there's nothing wrong for him being treated for mental health, because mental health is also part of areas that we in the security sector would like to ensure that our people are operating in our well-being. And you know, there are many of these cases in the political circles that are untreated. And as a result, they cause greater havoc and harm in the country. And I think that it's no longer a joke. Who the deputy president, former deputy president is at the moment is no longer a joke. Most of you share TikTok posts of his messages and so forth. You are actually the ones who encouraging a person who is unwell to continue saying more things that are going to hurt our country. And I think those who are around him should help him get medical treatment, because then there are continuous conversations. Somebody out there may think that he's a serious person when he's not. The last question. Thank you, Maina.
The question is security status of Narok and the surrounding counties, especially as you mentioned about land conflict and stop them and such. I see you have a very powerful security team, including the chairperson of the National Security Committee, the National Assembly. How do you assure the people of Narok and even Transmara, even Bomet, that such acts of clashes or those kinds of crises would end and come to a stop permanently?
You see, Maina, management of security of a country is a continuous process. Sometimes it's a moving target. You solve one problem, another problem comes in. For as long as human beings are continually interacting and there are other issues, the people are competing over resources, they are competing over leadership, they are competing over different things, it will always pause, and criminals are getting better in terms of their technology, their tactics, and so forth. So you always continue to invest, and you must always remain alert. That's why you change security officers every given time to avoid familiarity. You invest in more technology. You invest in more resources. You must continue. We've been with you in a number of these cases, and Kenyans are saying that we must train more. Police officers should be trained continuously. And like other departments of government, police officers are extremely disadvantaged because they are not getting new technology and new ideas as they continue managing the security sector. I'm talking about at the law level. And this is one of the resolutions that has come from Chukwa, that we need to invest more. So the thing is not to say whether or not we'll face the challenges. It's always to be prepared and ready continuously. And it's important that the chair of the committee is here, because budget is also a very important issue, that for us to achieve all these security issues. People have been talking about the security budget. It is absolutely nothing. That is only for salary and emoluments. Capital investment in the security sector is very low. Building of police stations, buying of vehicles, fueling, operational resources, authority to incur expenses. Those has been, you've had in many of our Chukwa Usalama for the 26 counties, that poses, continues to pose a challenge. And so working together, that's why we are all with the leaders today, including county government. There are always ways for people to make a contribution in this direction. Asante sana. We'll go and pay a courtesy call to the governor. Thank you.
Mimi hisi vitu senu